So with this screencast, I wanted to take some time to show you guys about Safari Reader. Now, Safari Reader has a lot of different components, so I'm going to try and cover them all real briefly but effectively, so hopefully this doesn't take too long and doesn't overwhelm anybody. So with Safari Reader, what it is it's simply a tool you can use to basically take a website and make it more adaptable for student use. For example, a lot of times when we open up a website, that's exactly what it looks like, a website. You got all the stuff on the side. A lot of times you got ads and extra stuff that you just don't need. Now, when a website is supported by Safari Reader, and some of them are not every website does this, only a few of them do, and they're working on that. You will see an icon up here in the URL bar. It's got 3.5 lines. If you click on that, it says Show Reader View. And now, when you look at that web page, it has all of the information on that web page in like a Word or PDF form, so the students can get all of the information without a whole lot of extra on the side to distract. So now you can save this as a document, save it as a PDF, put it on Canvas, and it makes it more accessible to kids. You don't have to worry quite so much about the actual website visitation if you need it. Now, also up here at the top, when you click on the reader view, you'll notice this will pop up in the right-hand side of the URL. It's for font. So you can actually go through and you can change the actual style of font of the text. So if there is a specific style of font that you like, you're partial, you can change it to what you need. You can also change the background. Like if you don't want to read on a white background, you like a little bit darker, you can change it. So maybe it doesn't necessarily also just look like a normal reading passage. Also, you can change the size of the font. Now, this is really great for students who maybe have visual problems. They can go in and actually just make this as big as they need, so that way it's not a problem, not hurting their eyes, giving them headaches, making it easier to kind of digest for them. So that's another feature that we have. Now, in addition, when the students are reading, there are several resources that are going to help them understand these passages much better. Because a lot of times when a student is reading an informational text, such as something they would find on Wikipedia, they're going to come across words where they just have no idea what they mean. So when that happens, let's say right here, you see the word subsequent. Hover your cursor over the word subsequent and right click, which of course is the two-fingered click. When this happens, you're going to have some options. So here we have look up subsequent. So the student can actually click on that and get an instant dictionary definition with the part of speech, a thesaurus option, so that way they can really understand what the word means instead of just skimming over it and assuming that they know. Once again, if you go back there, you have search with Google. If you click on this one, you can actually look up other websites, that use the word subsequent to really get a fuller understanding of what it means. Copy. This is just your traditional copy and paste, so you can copy and paste passages. Share. You can share a passage, share a word, whatever you need through mail, messages, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you got. Speech. This one is fun because I see students doing this all the time. They come across a new word and have no idea how to pronounce it. So with speech, they can actually go to start speaking.
Subsequent.
And it pronounces the word for them. Now, I have my voice for speech set very slowly because I was playing with it. And that's probably too slow for most people, but you can really slow it down and see or hear how that word is pronounced. Now, once again, that's kind of a personal preference for when you're listening to a passage, because not only can you listen to that one word pronounced, but you can listen to a full passage. So if you do the same thing, highlight the full passage, and right click on it. You can go to speech and start speaking.
Players on the batting team take turns.
Okay, and you go back to speech and hit stop speaking to make it stop. Now, once again, that's very, very slow. So you can actually adjust the speed of the reading. Now, the way to do that, up here on the Apple icon, click on it and go to System Preferences. Once again, your little icon pops up here in your dock, but it's also showing up here. Go to the icon that says Dictation and Speech and click on it. Now right here, I want the option text to speech. Now here I can also choose who I want to read. Like you can have a female read if you want.
Isn't it nice to have a computer that will talk to you?
And that's kind of hard to hear. I'm going to do Victoria.
Isn't it nice to have a computer that will talk to you?
If you want to keep it with a guy, try Fred.
I sure like being inside this fancy computer.
Or you can stick with Alex. Now, here you can also adjust the speed with which they're reading. So I had mine set to slow.
Most people recognize me by my voice.
You can set it to normal. Now, if your kids think that that's too slow, it's taking too long, you can speed it up a little bit.
Most people recognize me by my voice.
Or if you're a really fast reader,
most people recognize me by my voice.
So for right now, I'm just going to leave the preferences set to normal. So now if I go back and go to my speech, oops, and clicked off of it. Try it again. Go to speech, start speaking.
Players on the batting team take turns hitting against the pitcher of the fielding team, which tries to prevent runs by getting hit.
So once again, now the students can actually listen to that information as they're following along to make sure they're really understanding, what they're reading, and that way maybe reading comprehension isn't prohibiting them from getting the actual content. In addition, you can actually also use the tool Summarize. And what this does is you can highlight a large passage of information and hit Summarize. And it will basically take all that information, shorten it down to a few sentences so they can actually figure out what it's talking about without maybe reading the whole article. Now, obviously, this isn't something you want students to use all the time because we want them to learn to summarize. But it is kind of a neat tool that we could use and they can use, every now and then to fit certain specific needs. Now, of course, Summarize was not on my computer when I first started. It was something that I actually had to go in and add. So if you want to add the Summarize option, click on the Safari tool at the top of the page. Next, you need to go to Services and Service Preferences. Now, when you do this, make sure that you have Services on the left-hand side clicked. On the right-hand side, you're going to need to scroll down so you get to almost the very bottom. Now you see this section that says text. This is the section that you want. Right here, you will see the Summarize option. Now this is unclicked when you come here, so click that to activate the Summarize option and hit exit. Once you do that, Summarize should show up here for you. But also if you don't want it, you can take it off. Other thing you can do is you can add iTunes as a spoken track. So like if I want this paragraph put on iTunes because let's say I want to make it a podcast, go ahead and click on that. You can choose who you want to read it. You can title it and save it, and then hit continue, and it will save it to iTunes. So then, if you need to, you can put different passages of text onto Canvas, and it is there for you. So now, if you go down to iTunes, you can actually see, oh, here's my text-to-speech that I just uploaded. It's 43 seconds long, and I want to listen to it.
Games recognizable as early forms of baseball.
So there, it's available for you as well, and now it can be shared more easily through iTunes. So I hope that this tutorial kind of helped you get a better idea of some of the things that you can do with Safari Reader. Once again, just click on that button, it turns it on, turns it off. So it's really, really easy to use, a lot of great tools that are going to really help a lot of our kids, especially a lot of our struggling readers, making sure they're getting the content and not really being bogged down by problems with reading comprehension. And of course, if they start feeling successful with content, hopefully they'll start feeling more confident about their reading as well. So if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Once again, still pretty much at the basic level, but I'll help out in any way I can. So thanks for visiting and hope to talk to you guys again soon.